Welcome to the Fanatical Elz Show, part of the Elz Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bringing you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Fanatical Elz Show, part of the Fanatical Elz Network, part of Fans First Sports Network. We've got Steve Gill up there and Sam the Man Britton over there. Welcome, guys. It's been Sam and I did the show. We've missed Steve Gill for the last few weeks. We're glad to have Steve back. He had quite the adventure down there in Nashville, Tennessee, with all the wild and crazy weather. Steve, how are you doing this evening?
I wouldn't describe it as an adventure. I've been on an adventure, and I enjoyed those a lot more than I did with 12 days with no power, 10 days in a hotel room with my wife and a 60-pound dog. And the frustration that just every human emotion you can imagine. I mean, it just was a roller coaster. Been in our house for a week. Yay. Everything worked when we came back. I checked everything. The Wi-Fi was up and running because I don't have cable. I have Wi-Fi. There's still AT&T and Comcast trucks hooking up people's internet and cable TV. I'm so glad I cut the cable. It was up and working as soon as the power came on. Gotta love it.
Well, we are so happy to have you back, and I know that it was really difficult. And to any of you who are also in that region or any part of the world right now, that it was a lot. And I'm glad you survived and you're back, and I'm glad everybody's okay. So that's good.
It was interesting. At least I got a free breakfast every morning at the hotel, and my wife and I loaded up breakfast and lunch.
There you go. Yeah, then you don't need dinner.
Same with a room. Why not?
Right? Yeah. Oh, I just
eventually I'll get that stinking tree out of my backyard and get my fence fixed again.
The neighbor's tree. Those folks never took that tree down, like you said.
About 6:15. 3 weeks ago this coming Sunday. Boom. Shook the whole house.
Well, the article, the news down there did a good job, and Steve was on the news. He got interviewed as part of that, so that was not neat to see you on it. It was under the circumstances, but we're glad
I can think of some other circumstances where it might be bad I was on the news. So this was a good one. I'll take it good.
Yes. Sam the Man Britton down there in warm, toasty Texas. How's Dr. Pepper doing today? You're wearing your Dr. Pepper shirt.
Oh boy, I love Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I have one of these as the prideful Dr. Pepper fan I am. Yeah, no, it's been nice and warm. We're gonna possibly get rain on Saturday. It will be about an inch, it says, though it's Texas. It's either going to downpour an entire ocean onto us, or it's going to be completely nothing. So we'll see if they actually end up being accurate. I don't have my confidence very high, but yeah, it's been warm. It's been about 80 degrees and stuff, so nothing too crazy, but I've just been hanging out, doing research on what the heck the Browns are going to do with defensive coordinator, stuff like that.
Yeah, we're going to get into that here momentarily. There's a lot going on right now with the Browns leading up. We've had the new coach, and I know you have talked. I know, Steve, you talked a little bit about it, and I know, Sam, if we want to start there with the defensive coordinator position, you've done some research, I know, and Steve, you've talked about it a little bit on your show Monday. I'll let you guys talk about it. Steve, let's start with you. Where you think this is going? And I know you had some preferences. You want to share out a little bit about those?
Well, if they're serious about keeping the same system, then it'll either be Ephraim Banda, Jason Tarver, or the Unlin guy from the Texans, because he is a Schwartz disciple. So probably be one of those three. Unlin is, or Yundlin, or however you pronounce it, is intriguing. I mean, Houston had the number one defense last year.
Yeah.
So I am kind of thrilled with that. I just want him, like I said, I just want him to keep, if they can. I mean, Tarver's already been asked to interview out in Las Vegas. So and I'd like them to keep Cesar, the defensive line coach. I mean, he coached at Houston, so maybe that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the guys I'd like to see. And Moken told all the season ticket holders, the big ones, in a little conference call that he'd have his staff done by the end of the week. So,
did you get on that call?
No, I just heard about it.
I got invited to it.
And you didn't go?
I was working.
Lame.
I know, it was a lame, but anyway, no, I wanted one other. Well, let's go to Sam here. Sam, you've been looking into this a little bit. What are your takes on this?
Internally, it could be the linebacker or it's the safety guy, right? The other guy
and a safety. Tarver is linebacker.
Yeah, it could be one of those. I'm honestly very interested in Aubrey Pleasant out of the Rams. He seems he's young. He's got that. He's a Sean McVay kind of guy. So you've already got that Sean McVay tree, which is very sought after nowadays, with the Sean McVay and then the 49ers coach. I can never remember his name for some reason.
Shanahan.
Yeah, Shanahan. Those coaching trees are very, very widely respected. So coming out of a Sean McVay tree, he's younger. I think he's 37, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He is. I guess I can check. But he seems very interesting. He's got a very good energy. He's 38, and he's got good energy. He's considered almost the right-hand man right now of Sean McVay. Mm-hmm. He's had a lot of good stuff going on with him. If you're looking outside, I think he's probably the best option right now. But there are a lot of other teams looking at him as well. I'm pretty sure the Cardinals are very interested in him as well. But picking up him, if you want to go external, would be really interesting. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they stay internal and lift up the linebacker or the safety coach in order to maintain that kind of system that they've been running for the past few years that they've had so much success with.
Well, Steve, back to you. What are your thoughts on the new special teams hire?
Well, I heard a lot of people put him down, but he did develop three very good special teamers with the Packers, and their kick returner, I think, was an All-Pro this past year. So I'm good with it. He learned under an incredibly great special teams coach with the Packers. So hey, I'm good with it. I really am.
Okay.
His name's not Bubba, so I'm good.
I immediately thought of you when they hired the new guy. And I guess I don't know, I haven't looked into him much at all. So I know you said that some people were
he played fullback in the NFL. So you can't go wrong with a fullback as your special teams coach.
Absolutely. Sam, do you know much about this new special teams guy?
Not really. Also, I would have added this before, but I was looking him up, and one of the main cons the Pleasant guys had, one of the biggest ones, is he just doesn't have a whole lot of defensive experience. Past that, I haven't seen very many cons of him being like, oh, this, that. He just seems to have not full-time called defensive plays for teams. So, I mean, he clearly is not filled with these problems of maybe schemes and stuff. But about the special teams, he does seem interesting. You had a lot of problems with special teams last year. And we saw how important special teams has been in multiple games where you see special teams really taking over. Mm-hmm. And it's shockingly important right now, having a good special teams.
Let's come back to the offense just briefly. There's been a lot of chatter, and Steve, I've got to ask you again. I was going to mention this on the Fanatical Elz on our X feed, but your comment this morning in rebuttal to a one Tony Grossi, and then
Boy, did
hearing,
he walk into that
holy
one.
cow, Tony Grossi! I literally just listened to it 20 minutes ago. His rant on the radio, which I didn't understand when you said what you did about what you can go into this to the listeners who are listening on Apple or on Spotify right now. Can you like?
Well,
There's been this conversation about Malik Willis, who's a free agent or something coming from Green Bay.
well, he's
and
the number
yeah.
one free agent quarterback. Let's
Okay.
just face facts. I'm not enthralled with him because he's only attempted 155 passes in the NFL. That's it. That's the list. And I wasn't enthralled with him when he was in college. I mean, he dominated the league Liberty was in, but when he played one Power 5 team, Ole Miss, they destroyed it. So, I wasn't the big Malik Willis guy. And, Jack Duffin, who I follow religiously, who knows more about the salary cap than anybody, made the point that, yeah, they could sign him if they want, but he's got the same agent as Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
And you have the feeling that Deshaun Watson, per this report, that Willis was going to go to the Browns or Miami, that they would direct him towards Miami. Now, I don't know what the hell they're going to do with Tua. He's just got re-upped. So, and, of course, Grossi, who is still angry that they didn't hire Jim Schwartz, and he's out there in his front yard yelling at clouds, posted that anybody, well, how did he put it? Anybody thinks that Malik Willis is coming to Cleveland. He basically just called people in a nice way stupid if you think that.
Oh, yeah, and he did. He said that.
And Jack Duffin retweeted, well, it's not the money. It's if he wants to come to Cleveland. They could sign him first year for $6 million. But Tony Grossi has been
he's losing it.
Harping on the fact that the Browns have already committed so much money into the quarterback position, and he erroneously keeps saying how much Deshaun Watson is going to count against the cap. And today he went off saying, the internet capologists, I'd like to see their tax returns and see what they list under occupation. So I just said, hey, ESPN Cleveland.
Is that what he specifically, that's what you said
that's
to him?
What he
that's
says,
funny.
Yeah. And I said, hey, ESPN Cleveland, you can look at my tax return anytime. I've been a self-employed accountant.
I wondered what it was a rebuttal.
First I said, as an internet capologist in quotations, you can look at my tax return anytime you want.
Yeah.
I've been a self-employed accountant for 35 years. So, see, this is what aggravates me. That's why I don't listen. But I just caught this little blurb before I could turn the radio off, or turn it down on my computer. And I'm just like, if you don't understand something, don't talk about it like you think you understand it. I mean, Deshaun Watson is not going to count $80 million against the cap. He said it again today. Mm-hmm. He's not going to. They have a way of getting rid of him. I don't know how many times I got to say it. Jack Duffin has spelled this out for people. It's a simple plan. The salary cap is always going to go up, so they can afford to keep him on there. Now, as for the national media that keep insisting, and Mary Kay, who keep insisting that he is in play because the new coach is intrigued by him. No, this is the cat and mouse game. You play GMs and agents. You keep the agent happy to drum up suitors for Deshaun Watson when the Browns cut him in 2027. And you show his little videos and right now they're doing a PR for him. And they're also doing the favor who got 2.5-3% of that $240 million contract.
Yeah.
So he's completely happy. And you're also doing the agent a favor by drumming it up. It's a cat and mouse game that they play every year, almost every day. And here with the local and national media are bringing a ferret to this game. So it's quite simple if you think about it. If, the agent says, hey, Malik, you could go to Cleveland, you become the starter.
Yeah.
Why don't you try that? And they're in their good graces with his agent.
Yeah.
I personally don't think he's going to come to Cleveland because
Sure.
But Miami's in the same boat with Tua.
Yeah.
He's got a huge ass contract. Didn't they just sign him up a couple of years ago?
Yeah, they did.
So,
yeah.
So, you know, Tony is just so angry that they didn't hire Jim Schwartz.
Tony is
going to be this way. I got a feeling he's going to be this way for the rest of the year. And
he's lost his marbles. Tony has lost his marbles.
Today they did a poll on the radio station, and their first question was, you know, over under 2 years on Todd Monken as head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Oh, click. I mean, you know, come on.
Yeah.
The guy just got hired, and they're already doing over under 2 years before he's fired.
Yeah.
It's the under, by the way. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, Sam.
Yeah, I'd say you have a brain. You should use it to think. Now, we're talking about people on Twitter, so how much of a brain do they exactly have?
Well, these are correct people, media members.
It's I apparently am super lucky with the radio station I listen to because they are very good at doing what they do for the Cowboys, which is awfully surprising considering we're the Cowboys and there's not a whole lot to talk about in terms of success. And also it's just a huge brand. So you also have to appease the ginormous brand that you're talking with. But no, it's I wouldn't, like I said last week, I think there is only so many ways you can spin a thing before you start repeating it. And in order to get clicks, you either have to come up with a new idea or resurface an old one in a different way. And with so many talking heads, eventually you'll just have to be saying the most insane things to be able to get those clicks. And no, I think some of these people believe this, but I do think right now it's a waiting game. It's just we just have to let this run its course. I mean, it's the NFL. It's the most unpredictable sport really out there right now, with just all the things that can happen. Teams coming like the Patriots. The Patriots won 4 games last year, and then they were in the Super Bowl. And it's Sam Darnold. I mean, you look at Sam Darnold. Everyone thought he was done after year 1 or 2, and now he's a Super Bowl champion. And so it's a very difficult thing, but I just say trust yourself as well. Do your own research. When you hear something, look it up. Be like, okay, ask yourself 3 questions, right? And then look it up, and then you can make your own takes, and they'll probably be more accurate and intelligent than about 99% of the things you'll hear on Twitter or on Instagram or on TikTok or wherever you get your sports things from. And so it's just a media thing of everyone needs clicks, but there's only so many ways you can acquire said clicks.
Well, let's talk more about that, and I want to talk a little bit about the upcoming free agency and the draft right after these commercial breaks. We'll be right back. And thanks for coming back here to the Fanatical Elz Network. Shout out to Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. They shake the hand of the farmer. You can find on our X page a link there. You buy their coffee. It's amazing coffee. Sam can tell you all about it. 15% shoots back here to us here at the Fanatical Elz Network.
Yeah, buy it for your Valentine's Day gift. If you can get it in time. I'm not sure what the shipping is.
Yeah, I probably was short notice.
Well, it's their fault. They should have been buying it before so that they knew they had it for Valentine's Day.
Do you guys all have plans for Valentine's Day? Sam, do you have any plans?
I'm not even going to be here. I'm going to be off doing something else. So not really anything Valentine's Day, but my mom and dad are going to probably go out to a nice little steak place and get some stuff. So
Texas, you got to get a steak in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
Steve, what about you?
Burned through a lot of money in the last 2 weeks. For an electrician and a hotel. My wife and I are probably just going to meet some neighbors at a really nice Mexican restaurant around the corner. Nice. It's going to be our 40th wedding anniversary. So,
congratulations.
Yeah, my wife and I have known each other for 41 years, and she's still astonished we haven't killed each other. So, and
you made it probably through the worst nightmare of your marriage, just recent.
Well, you know.
Hey, maybe your Valentine's Day gift is getting to sleep in the same bed together in your own home bed too.
Yes,
you just get to fall asleep in your own bed.
Last Friday night, that felt so good.
Oh, I bet, dude.
I got the best sleep I had gotten in
After those
12
hotel
days.
room beds, man, I would just be so happy.
I'm still crippled from that stupid hotel room bed. Well, yeah, our first 2 nights, the second night we stayed, it was 42 downstairs, 36 upstairs, and then we looked at each other and went, "Hotel, we're going to a hotel."
How did you? I mean, honestly, how did you get through those nights when it was so cold? My wife and I were talking about
7
you guys.
blankets.
Wow.
I'm serious. My wife had 7 blankets on them, and 3 of them were wool.
Were you able to sleep? I mean, those
Yeah,
nights?
kind of. I just didn't want to get out of bed because it was so freaking cold.
Oh man, I would hate that climbing out of bed. You're so
I can't
warm
even
and you can just,
imagine
like,
that.
feel the
It was
cold
cold.
tickling you.
Bracing. Get your blood flowing.
I imagine I mean, the circumstances there in Nashville, there were probably other people in the same boat as yours, your neighborhood.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
listening to
Yeah. There were a lot of people in my neighborhood that were in the same boat as us. But we did everything right and still had to wait 8 days for NES, Nashville Electric Service, to come hook us up. But anyway,
yeah.
Let's talk about the Browns.
Let's talk about the draft real quick.
First,
Sam,
and another thing, the Browns are not in cap hell.
No,
if
and
you're
I guess
on social media, and you want to know about the salary cap, follow Jack Duffin at Jack Duffin, Duffin. He has done more research, and he is in the brain of Andrew Berry.
Sure,
and he's very good. He even did an article where he projected if Andrew Berry did all these things, they could have about $50 million in cap space.
Yeah.
But the first thing you got to watch for is next Monday. Joe Bitonio and Cam Robinson's contracts void on that day. So let's see what they do. They could push back Bitonio's contract being void to let him think about it some more. Although I don't think he's coming back. And if he retires, they can put that to June 2nd. Drew Brees did that for New Orleans when he retired. They took him off the books after June 2nd. So I'm not worried about those. Cam Robinson, he doesn't have a lot of money. Dead cap space is money that's already owed to the player and already paid to the player. You cannot change it. So no matter what somebody says, well, they can redo the deal so they don't have a dead cap hit. That's impossible. That's their money. They're getting it. They've already gotten it. So.
Right. Well, I just wanted to get into this, and you guys have both talked about this, and I wanted you to kind of elaborate on where your thoughts are. And Steve, you already kind of started that. I did, like Sam said, you want to do your own research, and I did an article this past couple days for Dog Pound Daily, and it was based on a little write-up on NFL Deadspin or something, talking about the draft stock, the value of these picks. And I know we've talked about this in general, but it was interesting doing the research on this, that it was from this other website called Tarkathon or whatever. And then that article, that information came from another article that was actually from this Harvard something that came back. It was back in 2011. I found out that they look at these charts and they have all, the draft picks. And so the Browns this year are, after all of this, when you look at all the charts and all this stuff, the Browns, their draft, their stock, or the value of all these picks, they're third, behind the Jets and behind the Raiders. The Raiders have the number 1 draft pick, but they're number 2. The Browns they're third. They have 10 picks, multiple picks in the top 50. Let's start with you on this, and then come back over to Steve. Just hearing that, and maybe you already knew that. The Browns just coming off of an A+. Some people have rated their rookies as A+. Their draft this past season. They could hit big again potentially. Now the Browns have been up in this position before, but now we're kind of talking more about it because the Browns did have a lot of success this year. Where are you at with that, and where they're projected to be as far as this draft capital?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of good picks. We were actually at a restaurant like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they were running ESPN, and they were like, "This is this guy's picks," and they had the Browns just picking like people, and I'm like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. I was watching the little ticker go by on all the different teams picking things, and I'm like, so this guy is just, they just picked this guy off the street because he had some of the weirdest picks for some of the weirdest teams. But they have a really good capital, and this draft, like I've said multiple times, it's deep. It's got a lot of talent that goes on for a while. Now I don't think it's full of complete like this guy's going to change the game, but it's got enough people where it's going to be like, all right, this guy's going to be a very solid number one. He's going to perform very well. He's not going to break the game or be considered like a superstar or anything, but he's going to be a star. He's going to be consistent, and that's sometimes all you need. You don't always need the superstar, the guy who can get the 2,000 yards in a season as a running back, or the guy who gets the 20 touchdowns as a receiver. Sometimes you just need the consistency from a player who can be consistent, who can be strong, who can survive all 17 games, and who can be good. And there's a lot of people who can do that. And I think that's the most important part of this draft. But I mean, we did amazing in 2024 or 2025, sorry. And we had a lot of good picks: Schweschinger, Judkins, Fannin. Mason Graham didn't perform as much as I thought, but again, that's his first year. I mean, he's got plenty of room to improve. And now you're looking at another very good position draft. I think you could build the core of a championship winning team in the next 2 to 3 years. And then after you build that core, like I say, the kind of 5-year plan, right? 2030, you could be building right now the core of that 2030 championship team if you just are consistent with strong, solid draft picks this year, last year, and next year.
Steve?
Well, it all starts in free agency. We got the combine coming up. And that's when all the wink, wink, nudge, nudge secret deals are going to happen that are not going to happen, the illegal tampering period. So they've got to, going into the draft, they got to have either by free agent signing or trade, remember the trade market. They've got to pick up a wide receiver and a left tackle. They have to.
Yeah, offensive line and wide receiver.
Yeah.
And it's only illegal if you're caught, Steve. It's only illegal if you're caught.
They love it because the NFL rules the roost for a week again with the combine and the rumors and the little things and social media going crazy. So, but as for the draft,
what do you think about that? Yeah, the 10 picks. I mean, they really do have some really.
Oh, they have a ton of draft capital. They always have a ton of draft capital. And what encouraged me about last year's draft, and it was very good, was in this, and I said this on my podcast, in the second round, Andrew Berry broke out of his little box, the normal NFL GM box, because you have this thing called positional value. Certain positions have greater value. And he got out of that box, and he took a linebacker at the 33rd pick, and he, in a deep, deep, deep running back draft, he picked a running back in the second round. Well, those two picks worked out because he didn't stick to the positional value chart. And I love the fact that he did that. He got out of it. I mean, Schweschinger is your defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
And Judkins looks like, get him a good offensive line, he looks like he's going to be a stud running back. So I'm I usually know how Andrew Berry thinks, and now I'm going to start adding that to my draft analysis. That fact that he looks at the board and says, "Ooh, first pick in the second round. Love this linebacker. We're going to take him." So
who would have thunk it? I mean, honestly, this kid is a
all Browns fans were complaining. They wanted him fired after that pick. How you feel about it now?
Yeah, no, and we speculated. I remember talking about it leading up to it. It wasn't like you and I weren't completely, or none of, I don't know.
Well, I'd been talking about him for a couple of weeks.
You had, I remember that, and I don't think I wasn't completely blindsided by it. It was a good pick, and it's worked out even more.
They can kind of fix their offensive line. There's some good guards. Tight end, a lot of people, since Njoku's not going to be back, a lot of people are talking about Lively from Baltimore, but he basically plays the same type of game that Fannin does. You need somebody that is hand in the ground, in line to tight end. Somebody like, there's another ball. Keep an eye on this name, Charlie Kolar. If the Ravens don't re-sign him, he could be your number 3, maybe possible number 2 tight end. And also Daniel Bellinger of the Giants. Those are your big beefy. And my favorite, if they go the draft to get the number 2 tight end, and it's not because I'm an Ohio State honk.
No,
Max Clare would be perfect.
Clare, is that his right? Is it?
Yeah, he would be perfect. He transferred 1 year to Ohio State last year from Purdue. He would be perfect, a perfect tight end in that system.
Well, the Ohio State connection, Buckeyes, Columbus down here, I think that would
and
be
he could
good.
be there day 3. He could be there round 3. And that wouldn't be a bad spot for him. It's a deep tight end draft.
Well, so the David Njoku thing happened, which I know it's not a complete shock. He's a free agent, all of that. But people have pointed out, and I was taken, 4 months ago, when he was in the locker room talking about like he loves Cleveland and all this stuff.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. He kept saying,
he was
be back.
adamant about it. And so, some people want to then diss on the Browns saying what's happened and all this. Well, the kid's, he's played 9 seasons in Cleveland, folks. He was in Cleveland for 9 years. He wanted out of Cleveland for a long while. So now,
he asked for a trade.
Yeah.
At one time.
Yeah, he was. So that I really lost interest in him, and I've been saying that ever since. And
he had a good 22 and 23. Sure. Very good. He was exceptional. But
I'm excited about Harold Fannin.
He was a little average last year. Well, that's why they drafted Fannin. I knew he was gone when they drafted Fannin. And I'd rather have Fannin. Be honest with you.
Okay, so moving forward here on the offensive side of the ball, we're kind of getting into that and talking. Sam, you brought up the offensive linemen, the need there. We've been hearing all the preparation, how the Browns offense is going to be different, and they're going to have a lot of different people in there. I mean, obviously we talked about a couple of people that will be there, Harold Fannin and Quinshon Judkins, but I think the Browns are really going to go hit hard on the offensive side of the ball. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, there's some good wide receivers right there. You got the kid out of Arizona State. You've got the kid out of Ohio State as well, if you want to look wide receiver. Put some weapons around Shadur if you think he's the guy, which you have to right now, at least this year. You don't really have any other options.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you pick up a vet. Who knows? But, I mean, Shadur's still going to win over the job, I think, over a veteran until if he cannot prove himself, then they'll turn to someone else. But offensive line is the most important position in the NFL, and it is something no one seems to talk about enough. I mean, you look at the offensive linemen; they're expensive in the. I talked about it like a month ago, where like you've got 32 teams and you've got 5 offensive linemen to cover, and that's just starters. Then you're still getting into backups and third stringers. It's an extremely lucrative business if you can be good at it. And it's one of the most vital positions that is so hard to come by, which is why you see teams with such good offensive linemen winning all these games. And you see like the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers are probably a Super Bowl caliber team, but their offensive linemen just couldn't protect Justin Herbert enough for it to survive. And you think the same thing, right, with the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Drake May was always under pressure. In that Seattle defense. Now, how much of that was also Drake May just not being very good that game? But I mean, he was just getting destroyed. And so offensive line.
It was a wake-up call for the young kid. I'll be anxious to see how he.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you play the easiest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah, that's true.
Correct. And we talked. I think Sam, you brought that up too. We talked about that last week, Steve, on our show.
It wasn't as dominant as I had thought it was going to be by Seattle in terms of points, but I mean they had a stranglehold on the Patriots.
Boy, the field goal kicker was great for Seattle.
The kicker should have
been the MVP.
Everyone knows the kicker should have been the MVP. Kenneth Walker was great. Kenneth Walker was amazing, but Kenneth Walker would have been a lock for the MVP had that touchdown run not get pulled back. Now, if that touchdown run didn't get pulled back, it would have been Kenneth Walker all day. But no, it was the kicker MVP. But yeah, I mean, offensive lineman is just such an important and expensive position. If you find someone in the draft, you're like, all right, this guy's good, you gun him down because you know it's an extremely important position. And if you can find someone who's good at it, you will pay anything in the world to get that kind of guy.
Yeah, I like it. So where do we go from here? Is Todd Monken, new head coach? Steve, you said that he's planning on having his. We'll probably find out by the end of this, like by tomorrow or Saturday.
So far, who he's hired on the offensive side, they're going to run the ball a lot, and I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, running has been extremely consistent in the NFL. It's making a resurgence right now.
Yeah.
And everywhere he's coached, he's made the quarterback better. I mean, he went down to Georgia. What was that guy's name? Stenson Bennett? That kid won 2 national championships. Stenson
I thought we
Bennett.
were talking about Carson Beck.
No. Stenson Bennett when he was
now.
when he coached at Georgia. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. And he turned Lamar Jackson into an MVP not too long ago. So, you know, I'm very happy with the hire. I'm very happy with the offensive side. Mm-hmm. I think the defensive coordinator, whoever it's going to be, is going to have one of the best jobs in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, nothing against Jim Schwartz, but he was a little stubborn.
Is he going to end up going to the Raiders? I'm hearing that.
Not unless, I don't think so. The Browns aren't going to let him go to another team they're going to play in 2026. Are you kidding me?
Well, it was rumored that he might have a position with the Raiders. Did you see that a couple days ago?
Well, he's under contract by the Cleveland Browns, so he's not going anywhere.
Okay.
So, and they're not going to let him go to the Raiders.
It's the NFL. Contracts actually mean something.
Exactly.
You can't just walk out.
And the only reason they let Callahan go, they got a little compensation from the Titans when they traded Leroy Watson. They were going to cut Leroy Watson anyway, and the Titans sent him a 7th-round pick, just as a thank you for letting Bill Callahan out of his contract. But they're not going to let him go to the Raiders because they played the Raiders this year.
Yes. Now the season, I heard, we start? When's the opening weekend? Is it a week later in September this year? Because the Super Bowl isn't going to be played until like President's weekend. Okay.
The Sunday after Labor Day. I just wish they'd go back to Labor Day weekend. Give everybody a 3-day weekend.
Right? No, let's see
that
here.
That would be nice.
Let me ask, just finish up here a couple things. The Browns released, was it yesterday, some updated renderings of the new ballpark. I don't know if you guys caught that, but
didn't see it.
Yeah, it looks, I mean, they're just more, photos, artwork, but it certainly, gets, I'm excited about it. Now I have family and friends that are not so happy about the indoor dome stadium again. It kills me that people are still, they're going to be upset. They're never, my cousin, shout out to Chris. He has told me he will never step foot in that place. And I'm like, you're a lifelong, you've been a season ticket holder. Everybody has the right to their own opinion. I think it's going to be a great facility. I would just want to go just to see what it's like. But anyway,
I'll miss snow games. Those are always fun. Snow games are always interesting, but you've got Lambeau Field. Just watch the Packers. You'll get some snow games once or twice there. But I'm going to go. If I can ever go, I definitely want to go to a stadium like that.
Right.
Me too.
Dome stadium, there's no real reason any ballpark, any stadium, anything should be not domed. In places like that, up north, down south, right? It's either extremely cold or it's extremely hot. Now, if you're looking at like Hard Rock, right? Hard Rock is a different case, or LA. But I mean, in such a cold place, you really should just have a dome, because then you can have it open when it's cooler in the fall and then close it when it's freezing in the winter.
Yeah. Now, Buffalo, it has an outdoor. Yeah.
Yeah, they put theirs up. Looks like a bedpan.
Right.
It does.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, it does.
It does. No, I agree.
Well, it's like Chicago. It looked like a spaceship was stealing the stadium. But anyway.
by the way, the
Hey,
opening weekend.
here's the natural fact.
Yeah.
The stadium that they're playing in now is going to fall into the lake in about 5-6 years on its own. It was built too quick, and it is, and it would cost more to fix it than it would the new stadium.
Yeah.
So just get over it.
They should play a game when it falls into the lake, preferably against the Steelers.
Oh, speaking of
Just have the
squealers,
Steelers fall into the lake.
I just love. Did you
Boy,
guys? I
Joey
just talked
Porter.
about it the other night on my. I did. We have a new reboot of the Stirring the Pot in Cleveland now, and did that show. And I talked about Joey Porter and his comments about Big Ben. I'm telling you, man, Big Ben sounds like he's one big dweeb.
Well, he doesn't like Mike Tomlin. Now
He called him the
let's
worst.
see what he
human
thinks
being.
about Mike McCarthy.
I just thought that's hilarious. He called Big Ben like a terrible human being. And I don't like Joey Porter, but listening to Joey Porter, I mean, I was just sort of taken aback by it. Like, here's Joey Porter talking about another person, and he said at the very end of that conversation, he said that Big Ben is a terrible human. I'm like, oh my God. So
yeah, he is.
Yeah, the problem of being successful with the Steelers, I'd become a terrible person if I have to play for the Steelers as well.
I wouldn't go into a bathroom with Big Ben.
No.
Weird things happen when he goes into bathrooms.
I just crazy. By the way, opening weekend for the NFL next year is Thursday night, September 10th. So the weekend games will be on September 13th.
That's about right.
So it starts a little bit later because last year,
after Labor Day.
Yeah. So Labor Day is kind of late this year, being September 6th. So last year, Labor Day was on September 1st. And so the opening weekend was September 8th, or, that Sunday game. So let's wrap this up here. Final thoughts here. Let's go with you, Steve.
Well, if you watched the Super Bowl, and I'm assuming a lot of you did, you saw what Seattle did to New England, the same thing that the Eagles did to the Chiefs the year before.
Oh, yeah.
Defensive tackle pressure. Of the 4 teams that made the championship games, they were 1 through 4 in pressure from the defensive tackle position. So now you know why Andrew Berry signed Malik Collins and drafted Mason Graham. Okay. Also, I've heard a lot of chatter. Well, they're losing their defensive coordinator. Look what happened to Detroit last year. They lost both coordinators and they didn't make the playoffs. Well, I prefer to look at the Eagles 2 years before that, who also lost both their coordinators, and they won the Super Bowl.
There you go.
It depends on who
somebody did their research.
Hire. That's such a fallacy that people just like to weakly. It's a weak sauce argument. Yes. That's what I call it. Well, they lost Jim Schwartz, so now the defense is going to suck. No, you hire somebody who can actually stop Carson Wentz and the Vikings. How about that? Wouldn't that be nice?
That was a nightmare.
Or not let the Tennessee Titans run all over you.
No, it really is.
Buffalo's running back have 100 yards by halftime.
No, there were multiple games like that, and we all season long. And those people that want to just sugarcoat it and say, "Oh, it was a great defense," they're completely not watching these games. It's the same thing for me with I know it's a different subject or a different team, but the Cleveland Cavaliers. A lot of you Cleveland fans were bashing this Cavalier team over and over again, and I know they just made a big splash with this trade for Harden, and they traded away Darius Garland.
Don't forget the trade they made before that.
Well, yes,
big,
absolutely. But even before those trades, and I'm sorry, I just I've watched this team for several years. People were wanting Kenny Atkinson to be fired, and I just like this. You guys are just crazy. Anybody out there, you're not watching the games with any sort of clarity. You're too judgmental, and you're overreacting to everything. And so many fans are like that in any sport. And so, it's crazy. No, we try to be level-headed here. I mean, Steve here is probably the most level-headed. Sam's pretty good for being a youngster.
Well, Sam isn't polluted by Cleveland media.
No, you don't.
And he believes his eyes, which is the same with me. I'm a realist. I believe my eyes.
Well, and it's sad too for me. I mean, and I know Steve, you've listened to like somebody like Tony Grossi, but honestly, I got to stand right next to Tony Grossi. Tony, you'd have never met me, but I was in the locker room standing next to you during the Green Bay in the game afterwards. I think you've been a good beat writer, but my God, I don't know, man. Like, just
Grumpy
chill.
old man.
Yeah, I mean, have
Lord.
respected your opinion for years. I would listen to you like religiously when I was living out there in Kansas, and would listen to your shows with the guys on 850. I have a lot of respect for a lot of these people over the years, but my God, some of these takes, the money, all of this stuff that goes on now, the social media, the way that these people are pushing, they were even talking about it on local radio here in Columbus, the 97.1. I heard them talking about it this morning about how radio stations are even, having to figure out how to generate money better. And so it's all about the dollar bill.
Yeah.
So
it's all about the dollar bill.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah, Tony Grossi has become as stubborn as Jim Schwartz. So
pretty much. All right, Sam.
Yeah, final take. I had something and then it kind of left. Oh, I was listening to my Dallas radio and they're talking about the power ranking, the two early power rankings for the teams, and we were 32 according to ESPN, I think. So the bar cannot be lower. I think we've got it. Now, do I think we're going to be anywhere near contention? Probably not. But I think this team could win. I think if you get a good draft and you get a good free agency and you pick up some pieces, you could be 7, 8, 9 wins. You could.
Yeah.
If this division sucks again like it did this year, heck, you could even win your division. If the things fall into the place. Steelers are the Steelers. They'll probably, but they don't have Tomlin anymore, so they're going to win like 3 games. The Ravens are the Ravens, so
they don't have Harbaugh anymore.
See, there was
the Bengals.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bengals are the Bengals, and so
Zach Taylor.
Yeah, Joe Burrow will die about 50 times on the field every game because of that offensive line, and then he'll have to come back out 3 seconds later because it was a 99-yard touchdown because their defense sucks. But yeah, it'll be an interesting season. I'm rooting for Shedeur. I want him to perform. He seems to have a good mentality. Do I think he's going to succeed? I don't really know. It might be tough with the system and just that he doesn't have amazing talent around him. Now he's got good talent. He's got Judkins. He's got Fannin. He's got some good players on his team. But I think you could be an 8-9 win team, honestly, if you can do good in free agency and you can have a decent draft class.
I think it's all a ploy. Don't you, Steve and Sam? I mean, I just think they're putting him at 32. It gives ESPN, all this ammunition to, moving forward. Sure. All the stories, Cleveland was looked at as the dumpster, and now look what's happened. And they're going to win.
Just remember one thing. Week 1, 2025, percentage to make the Super Bowl. Seattle Seahawks, 1%. New England Patriots, 1%.
There you go.
So, and if Bo Nix had been
contenders,
healthy,
the Eagles and the Chiefs didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Chiefs didn't even make the playoffs.
By the way, shout out to Go ahead, Steve.
And if Bo Nix had been healthy, I really don't think New England would have made the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I really don't.
No, I agree with you. The Drake May situation, I mean, you could see some of that video I saw after the fact that they've been playing. I mean, he was just beaten up and just mentally just toast in that.
Mike Vrabel coached that game not to lose. I'm sorry. He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, going punting on 4th and 1 like they did once or twice. Yeah, Drake, I feel like you could have I think Drake May watched too many of those AI ads and just was exhausted before the game. They were running the previews and he's like, AI. He's like, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Well, I did want to just mention before, I know we were talking about draft picks, but I find it very interesting. I'll be interested to see what our old coach, Kevin Stefanski, does down in Atlanta. One of the other things that came up with him, I was doing the research, is Atlanta only has 5 draft picks. They don't
Yep.
draft till number 48. So it's a little
Well,
little different there in Atlanta.
He's not the GM, so I don't think he has to worry about it.
Well, it'll be
coaches don't
interesting.
draft.
I'm anxious to see how it all plays out down there for him, but he's not a Cleveland Brown anymore, so we don't care. Steve, thank you for being here. Sam, thank you for
Sure
being
thing,
here.
man.
And we look forward to seeing everybody again next week, Thursday, same time, same place. So probably happy Valentine's Day. Happy birthday to my son, Grant Man, who is a Valentine's baby. So he's turning 25, my autistic great guy, Grant Man.
Happy birthday, Grant Man.
Yeah, he's getting ready to hop in the shower here and go to bed. So we're going to end the show. Everybody have a great night. Go Brownies. Happy Valentine's Day. See you, Steve. See you, Sam.
Yeah.
Go Browns.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.